So last week, I had an interesting comment on one of my videos about how a golfer was saying that as you get older, you definitely start hitting the ball shorter. Well, I found that interesting because I'm going to prove in today's video that I'm longer at 50, nearly 50, than I was at 20 years old. And I'm going to show you the change of swing thoughts that have got me there and a little bit of tech that's helped, but not the tech you would expect. So I'm going to use the Callaway Biggest Big Bertha, which was kind of around about 95, I think. So I was using this around the time I was 20 years old. And I'm going to show you how far I used to hit it with the speed I used to swing. And like I said, what I work on now and what you can work on to pick up some yardage with driver, even if you're that little bit older. So as a kid, I think it's safe to say I was never blessed with speed. I was never a quick sprinter, always quite a good sportsman and kind of played a lot of sports to a decent standard, and I found golf generally fairly straightforward. So when I was growing up, I think the golf swing was very much about kind of putting the club in certain positions to make sure you had a technically good golf swing. And I would say the way I used to swing the club would have been very much aim a little bit down the right, focus on putting the club in a good place. And that would have been the one that I didn't quite get right, where a little bit blocky, good strike out the middle of the club face, and that's round about the distances I would have been getting. And I always played with the draw as a junior, and I know at 20 you might say just out of junior, but none of it was really about trying to create speed. It was a good strike and trying to get the ball in play, going down the right with the little draw. Quite getting the shape I want, but good strikes. And my club head speed, I know probably at 20 years old there wasn't launch monitors around, but once launch monitors were out, that last one there at 98 mile an hour, I always struggled to get to 100 mile an hour. And even though I've not shaped those back, kind of around that 220 carry and around 240 total is pretty much what I produced as a kid. Now, what I would say is I think the idea and the understanding behind golf swings with launch monitors and pressure mats has changed. And it's certainly changed my view on how I try and swing driver. And there's much more intent now about trying to generate some speed. So it definitely feels less about me being positionally good. I'm not saying technique's not important, but can I move the club a bit quicker? And can I use the ground better in order to get that energy coming through my body and into the club? Now, for a couple of months now, I've been using the Victory carbon insoles. So they fit in my shoes and they kind of act a little bit like a springboard and help me get a little bit more efficiency of that energy transfer from the ground back into my body. Really, really easy to use. Literally just pop them into my shoes. And I actually wear these all day to coach because I have found even being on my feet kind of 10 hours a day definitely feels less kind of tiredness kind of at the end of the day. Now, is that measurable? I am doing a video where I've played 9 holes and I use my Whoop band for recovery, and I'm going to share that in a few weeks. I played 9 holes without the insoles. Now I'm going to play 9 holes with the insoles and see the difference. But straight away, feels different in the shoe as you'd expect with an insole. And definitely there's that little bit of kind of give in the insole where it's almost a bit like a springboard. Now, obviously when we're looking to generate speed with the golf swing, there's lots of different ways you can do it. But if we're talking about how we use the ground, there's 3 ways. So we move side to side, we kind of twist into the ground, and we kind of push down to almost that jumping that we see in the golf swing. So the first thing I'm going to work on here, and it's a change of intent as well, but I know, not mind-blowing differences with the insole, but I think every little bit counts when you're going for speed. So the first one I'm going to go for is not worrying about the classic swing I made as a kid, but initially I'm just going to work on feeling that I shift more side to side and see what that gives me in club head speed and ultimately in distance with an older driver. So almost get that kind of rocking feel like you see the long drive lads do. Now, not as good a strike, but we can see 106 mile an hour club speed, nearly 107. Up the face a little bit on the strike, but suddenly 245 carry and 263 total. So that definitely felt more aggressive, just simply moving side to side. Didn't try and do anything else different, but almost feel like I kind of rock back and forwards beforehand, get the feel that that weight's moving, and then can I get that nice aggressive shift? And again, felt a better strike. 108 mile an hour club speed, 14-degree launch. A lot of spin with the old tech, but 240 carry and 250 total. So you can see there, for somebody who, when he was 20 years old, was all he was bothered about was, does the swing look nice and can I get it in play? It's a big pickup, nearly 10 mile an hour extra there. So the next way I would kind of try and feel that little bit of speed is almost try and feel like I twist into the ground. So it's in my backswing, I'm feeling like I'm pushing my trail foot that way, which gets the hip going back, and then I shift across and try and push that foot, front foot forwards, which gets the left hip turning out the way. So this isn't something I'm great with the twist pattern. Again, it works. So not the best strike, but 106 mile an hour club head speed. Just hitting up a little bit spinny, but again, 255 total. So again, let's go for one more with the twist. And I would just say, if you haven't had a chance to get on the pressure plates, because I know which way I generate my most speed, but if you haven't had a chance, kind of just try these feelings next time you're practicing. And if you can see some pickup, you can take that to the golf course. But I'm just trusting the fact that those insoles in there are just helping me be a little bit more efficient. So all about twist. Little bit low off the face. But club head speed, great, just under 108 mile an hour. A little bit spinny off the bottom, but we can still see reasonable distance. But it is about much more club head speed. Now, for anybody who is interested in the insoles, I'm going to pop a link in the description below. I have done another video when I first tested these. I'm going to put that up in the top corner. But click on the link if you are interested. There's a bit more about the tech in there and kind of talks about kind of some of the tour players that are using it. Poor Drake Harrington's one of them. And there's a lot of other sports athletes are using this. Now, you might not consider yourself an athlete, perhaps. But I think anything that can just give you that little bit of an edge that you can put in there and you don't have to do anything different. We're talking about golf swing things here, but if you don't have to do much different to pick up some speed, it always helps. So the last way of creating speed is almost feeling that kind of maybe feel like we go up a little bit, drop, and then feel like I almost push down in a way that I'm almost going to feel like a jump off the ground. That's pretty low on the face, but 109 mile an hour club speed. And even though the performance of the ball's not great because of the equipment, we can definitely see how I can generate a lot more energy doing this at 50 years old, 48 technically, than I'd ever tried to do at 20 years old. So let's see if we can get one more with that jump going, a match strike. Again, a little bit low off the face, but nice and quick at just under 109 mile an hour, very straight. Expecting that to spin a bit too much, yeah, 4,500, but 235 carry and 245 total. Now, what's really interesting for me there, you can definitely see I pick up a little bit whatever I do. For me, it's definitely that little kind of jump that I feel I get a bit more speed. So I can physically swing it faster, even with equipment that's probably not ideally suited for that speed. But once I then put something in my hands, that is more suited. So this is what I currently use, driver. And remember, all I was looking for initially was, even with old product, can I move the club faster? Absolutely. So then I'm going to set up, go for my little jump. Okay, that one a little bit left. Strike was good, but 112 mile an hour. Granted, I'm missing the fairway with that one, but 272 carry and 305 total. Now that really does feel like I'm trying to swing the club fast, not like I'm trying to hit the ball hard, but let's go for one more like that. See if I can get that speed up even more. Now a little bit low off the face. So just under 110 mile an hour, not the best strike, so launching a bit low, spinning a bit too much, but even with the miss hit there, 254 carry, 272 total in the middle of the fairway. So it doesn't mean that as we get older, we get slower, but you have to change intent and you do have to feel that you use the ground better. Try those 3 different ways, see which one works best for you, and if maybe just that little bit of assistance from something that you can just wear, get the tech in there. There's a link in the description below. And if you have bought some of them, comment below. Let me know, have you seen a difference in the club head speed? But hopefully those little tips in there as well, we're going to get you hitting driver further than ever, even though when you're watching this, you're as old as you've ever been.